The Panama Canal is not just a waterway. It stands as a marvel of engineering and a symbol of human ingenuity. It serves as a crucial artery for the global economy, enabling the seamless movement of goods and resources across continents. Spanning 50 miles and connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, this waterway has transformed maritime trade and geopolitical strategy since its inauguration in 1914. Building the canal was a monumental feat, involving the excavation of millions of cubic yards of earth and the construction of locks to manage elevation changes. Prior to its existence, ships had to brave the perilous waters around South America's Cape Horn, a route notorious for its dangers and unpredictability. This detour added thousands of miles and weeks to voyages, significantly increasing the cost and risk of maritime trade. The canal's influence on global trade is immense. It has revolutionized the shipping industry by providing a shortcut that saves time, fuel, and money. It facilitates the efficient transport of goods between Asia and the Americas, making it an essential link in the global supply chain. The canal supports the movement of energy resources, raw materials, and manufactured products worldwide, bolstering economies and industries globally. For the United States, the Panama Canal is a vital link to its trading partners in Asia and Latin America, enabling the flow of goods and services that drive economic growth. The canal's strategic importance has made it a focal point of international interest and competition throughout its history. Control of this vital waterway has been a coveted prize for nations seeking to enhance their influence and power. Control of the Panama Canal translates to significant influence over global trade and maritime security. The ability to regulate the passage of ships through this narrow corridor can impact global supply chains and military logistics. For over a century, the United States has viewed the Panama Canal as crucial to its national interests. The canal has been a key element in U.S. military and economic strategy, ensuring a rapid transit route for naval and commercial vessels. This perspective has shaped U.S. foreign policy in the region and beyond, influencing diplomatic relations and military engagements. Today, as we enter an era of increased geopolitical rivalry, the Panama Canal finds itself once again at the heart of a power struggle. The rise of new global powers has brought renewed attention to this strategic waterway. The canal is now a focal point in the competition between the United States and China, two of the world's largest economies and military powers. This time, the struggle is not just about control of the canal itself, but about the broader influence in global trade and regional security. The Panama Canal remains a symbol of strategic importance, a testament to human achievement, and a critical link in the chain of global commerce. The story of the Panama Canal is closely linked with the United States. This significant waterway, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, has been a crucial route for global maritime trade for over 100 years. After a failed French attempt in the late 1800s, the vision of a canal through Panama seemed nearly unattainable. Led by Ferdinand de Lesseps, who had successfully managed the Suez Canal project, the French faced overwhelming obstacles in Panama. The harsh tropical climate, widespread diseases like malaria and yellow fever, and the challenging terrain led to the French effort's collapse and financial disaster. The U.S. took over the project in 1904 under President Theodore Roosevelt's leadership. Roosevelt was determined to see the canal completed, considering it vital for both military and commercial purposes. The American effort introduced new engineering techniques and a more organized approach to the project. The construction was a colossal task, filled with engineering challenges and costing thousands of lives. Workers faced not only the physical demands of excavation and construction, but also the constant threat of disease. The introduction of new medical practices, such as widespread mosquito control to combat malaria and yellow fever, was crucial in reducing the death toll and ensuring the project's progress. When it was completed in 1914, the Panama Canal became a symbol of American engineering excellence and a testament to its growing global influence. The canal significantly reduced travel time for ships between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, revolutionizing global trade routes and solidifying the United States' strategic and economic position on the world stage. The United States controlled the canal and the surrounding canal zone for much of the 20th century, establishing a significant military and administrative presence in the region. The canal zone became a hub of American activity, with U.S. personnel and their families living and working in a distinctly American environment, complete with schools, hospitals, and recreational facilities. Considering it vital to its national security and economic interests, the U.S. maintained a strong military presence in the canal zone. The canal was a crucial strategic asset, allowing for the rapid movement of naval forces between the two oceans and serving as a key point of control for maritime trade routes. However, this control was not without controversy. Over the decades, Panamanian resentment over U.S. sovereignty within their territory grew. The presence of a foreign power exerting control over a significant portion of their land and a critical economic asset led to increasing tensions and calls for Panamanian sovereignty. Panamanian resentment over U.S. sovereignty within their territory grew throughout the latter half of the 20th century. Nationalist movements and anti-U.S. demonstrations became more frequent, with Panamanian leaders and citizens alike demanding control over their own land and the canal that ran through it. This led to negotiations and the eventual signing of the Torrijos-Carter Treaties in 1977. These treaties, named after Panamanian leader Omar Torrijos and U.S. President Jimmy Carter, marked a significant turning point in the history of the canal. They outlined a plan for the gradual transfer of control from the United States to Panama, ensuring that the canal would eventually be managed by the Panamanian people. These treaties set the stage for the gradual transfer of the canal's control to Panama, a process that took over 2 decades to complete. During this time, both nations worked together to ensure a smooth transition, with Panamanian officials gradually taking on more responsibilities in the management and operation of the canal. Culminating in the complete handover on December 31, 1999, the Panama Canal was finally under Panamanian control. This historic event was celebrated with great fanfare, marking the end of an era of American influence and the beginning of a new chapter in Panamanian sovereignty. The canal remains a vital artery of global trade, a testament to human ingenuity, and a symbol of national pride for Panama. Over the past few decades, China has transformed into a global economic giant, evolving from a primarily agrarian society to the world's second-largest economy. This meteoric rise has been driven by state-led investments, a growing middle class, and a strong emphasis on technological advancements. China's reach now extends well beyond its borders, influencing global trade, finance, and geopolitics. The nation has become a key player in international organizations and has established robust economic relationships with countries worldwide. Central to this global expansion is the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, an ambitious infrastructure development strategy launched by Beijing in 2013. The initiative aims to enhance global trade routes and stimulate economic growth across various continents. Led by Chinese President Xi Jinping, the BRI seeks to revive the ancient Silk Road trade routes by creating a vast network of modern infrastructure projects. These projects include the construction of highways, railways, ports, and energy facilities, all designed to improve connectivity and foster economic cooperation. The BRI aims to link China with Asia, Europe, Africa, and Latin America through an extensive network of roads, railways, ports, and other infrastructure projects. This initiative is not just about building physical infrastructure. It also involves investments in digital infrastructure, such as fiber optic cables and telecommunications networks. Viewed by many as a modern-day Silk Road, the BRI has sparked concerns in the West, particularly in the United States and Europe, about China's expanding economic and geopolitical ambitions. Critics argue that the initiative could lead to increased Chinese influence and control over key global trade routes and strategic assets. In the United States, there are fears that the BRI could undermine American economic interests and weaken its geopolitical influence. Some U.S. officials have expressed concerns that the initiative could be used as a tool for China to expand its military presence and exert political pressure on participating countries. Latin America has become a significant focus for the BRI. The region's strategic location and abundant natural resources make it an attractive destination for Chinese investments. Through the BRI, China aims to strengthen its economic ties with Latin American countries and gain access to new markets and resources. China has heavily invested in infrastructure projects in the region, including ports, railways, and energy facilities. These investments are designed to improve connectivity and facilitate trade between Latin America and China, while also providing much-needed infrastructure development for the region. In Panama, Chinese companies have secured contracts to manage ports at both ends of the canal, a critical waterway that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This has allowed China to gain a strategic foothold in one of the world's most important maritime trade routes. The growing Chinese presence in Panama has raised concerns in Washington about China's influence over this critical waterway. U.S. officials worry that Chinese control of key infrastructure in the region could pose a threat to American national security and economic interests. As China continues to expand its global reach through the BRI, the world watches closely, weighing the benefits and risks of this ambitious initiative. Recently, the friction between the United States and China over the Panama Canal has intensified. In June 2024, U.S. Senator Marco Rubio's visit to Panama City brought this issue into the spotlight. Rubio, known for his criticism of China's Belt and Road Initiative, held discussions with Panamanian President Laurentino Cortizo and other top officials. During his visit, Rubio voiced his worries about China's increasing influence in Panama and urged the Panamanian government to rethink its partnerships with Chinese firms involved in canal-related projects. After Rubio's visit, the Panamanian government made a pivotal announcement. Citing national security and sovereignty concerns, Panama announced it would review all existing contracts with Chinese companies, especially those linked to the Panama Canal. Although not explicitly cutting ties with China, the announcement clearly indicated Panama's intent to reevaluate its relationship with Beijing.